Now, we seeing these young people here doing what we would call a yoga position, a really extreme yoga position. You know, they're upside down in a lotus position. When you look at their face is, they're not saying wooch, wooch, ouch. They're basically very calm. They're very relaxed. They're more like a trance-like state because they're doing this particular position in the context of what they would call a spiritual type of ceremony for themselves. And so they're raising life force, they're raising Kundalini, they're causing this energy to move through their bodies in order to put them into a certain state that connects them with the divine, that gives them access to certain information. Now, they're not going to call this yoga, but we can see the connection with yoga. This particular piece comes from the Congo, and you see that he has a beard, the same type of beard you see the pharaoh wearing in Kemet, and he's sitting in the lotus position. Here you see a person from West Africa who's doing an extreme yoga-like position. Again, look at the face. He's not crying out in pain or saying it hurts too much. Now, to show that yoga is all over the world and black people from all over the world practice yoga. This is from the Olmec culture in Mexico. As many of you probably know, the Olmecs were one of the root civilizations in Central and South America from which the Aztec, Mayan, Incan civilizations emerged from. And these were black people who moved across the ocean from Africa and populated that part what we call the southern hemisphere of the Americas. And so you see this person here in this extreme yogic position. You see this one here in this extreme yogic position. You can look at his facial features and tell he's pretty much a black guy. This is a brother from Senegal whose name is Yogi Khan. And he's practicing his interpretation of Kemetic yoga. For a long time, he thought he was the only person in the world who was rediscovering Kemetic yoga. And I discovered him in a magazine and took this picture back in 1977 out of the magazine. Here you see an illustration, a picture of a modern Dravidian girl. The Dravidians were African people, the original people. She is a descendant of the original people who were the African people who established civilization in India. And she looks like, you know, this is another girl from India today, who you would think maybe you would see her down on Monroe someplace, or you would see her down in Mississippi, walking down the street, or Alabama. This is a picture of a sister, an ancient, this is like about a 6-inch little statue. And you see this sister, you can see her facial features, you see the way she holds her body, you can see the bangles on her arm, you know. This is a brother who's a sadhu, who is, they wear locks, they let their hair lock, they give up all of their material goods, and they just live their life in a very spiritual way because they're trying to work off all of their karma. They want to accumulate karma because they want to not have to, just to put it in a non-technical way, they just don't want to have to come back here and be reincarnated again. So they want to get off of this wheel of cause and effect that we're on. This little boy, you might look like you might see him on 39th Street or somewhere, but he's from the Philippines. So these are the original faces. These are people from China. A lot of times, you grew up in the projects, there's like a little girl, they call her China, right? Because she got Chinese eyes. But the Chinese, she don't have Chinese eyes. The Chinese got black folks' eyes. Because when you go to South, you go to Southern Africa, this is how people look also. Here we see an ancient Kemetic Sphinx or Heru Amket. You see a Sphinx in India. These are illustrations of the energy systems of the body. And I don't have time to go through all of these, but again, here we see the sun disk on top of the head. And we see here an illustration of a woman who's been, had a photograph taken using Kurlian photography. In the 1960s, there was a guy named Kurlian from Russia who invented this photographic technique to take a photo of the energy that emanates from the body. So this is before she did meditation, this is after she did meditation. And so you can see from this is that meditation actually increases the life force and energy. We have energy fields around the body, and it's expressed in the form of the aura. So this is me here, using it, having my picture taken using the Kurlian photography.
Is that before or after?
It's like all the time. And you can sort of see like the seven primary chakras. This is the artist's representation of the seven chakras. Each chakra represents one of the 7 colors of the spectrum. The base chakra at the base of your body is red and it points down towards the earth. The white, the top, the crown chakra connects you to the heavens, and each chakra projects front and back. And so you can sort of see that those colors intermingle and create this type of aura. This is an illustration of what you would call the medical caduceus, right? You go to the doctor's office, and they have this symbol here. I'm not sure, if they really know exactly what it means, but from a metaphysical perspective, this medical caduceus is the 2 serpents we talked about earlier. We saw the 2 serpents on the chair. And we see that these 2 serpents represent those 2 aspects of life force. The places where the circles, where the 2 serpents intersect that corresponds to your chakras. The wings up here corresponds to the crown chakra. So instead of using the image of the sun, they're using the image here of wings. That means like a bird taking flight, soaring up into the heavens, and so on and so forth. This is all symbolic. This is actually the skull that was removed from Tutankhamun. On his skull, when he died, they placed this ornament on his head. And what it is you see the 2 serpents showing the brain divided into the 2 hemispheres, and the 2 serpents represented those 2 aspects of energy. Here you see fingertip of a person using Kurlian photography. Before they had acupuncture on the left, and after they had acupuncture on the right. So you can see on the left side the energy is broken up. You can see on the right side that the energy is flowing very well. This is a person's fingertip using Kurlian photography in various states of emotional distress. Here you see the fingertip when the person is in a normal, calm state. Here you see that the energy is disrupted when the person is angry or distressed, has anxiety, and so on and so forth. And so this is sort of illustrating to you on a energetic level why we need to stay calm, why we need to stay focused, because it's actually destroying the body when we don't. This is an illustration of the brain when we are in our normal state of consciousness. This is actually the image of the brain showing the various parts of the brain that are active when we're thinking about different things. And this is showing the brain after we meditate. We basically shut off the brain. And another thing that this is showing is that the brain is we need the brain for a lot of different things, but when it comes to meditation, the brain is of limited utility. We want to shut the brain off because we're actually activating other energy forces and energy fields that operate, that causes us to have our consciousness. You know, so basically the brain is just divided up into different parts that